So, David, have you got another one for us to play with?
Amanda asks, I think that she's obviously been following you for a little while, because she says some of the things you suggest might be viewed by my colleagues as sucking up to the boss. And I don't want to be like that. Have I missed something here?
Yeah, that's a good one, and a very important one. And I think, that my immediate reaction to that is, well, what's sucking up to one person is prudent maneuvers or actions on the part of somebody else. So sometimes this is about perspective, and and I don't want to be disrespectful, Amanda, but one of the things that you need to sort of reconcile in your own mind is, whose side are you on anyway? And there is a normal tendency, I think, in many people within teams to side with their team rather than the boss. And there's two sides to this, obviously, but if you're identifying more with your colleagues than your relationship with your boss, then you are more likely to think about what your colleagues are thinking and how they're reacting and responding to the actions that you're taking rather than your boss. Your boss will see those, what you delightfully term sucking up type behaviours, perhaps as very constructive, making a positive contribution to their work, the work of the team, and a valuable contribution as well, so long as you're getting those sort of things right. And that's something that bosses really they need. That your colleagues might think badly of you for that, well, maybe that's up to them. And if you can put your hand on your heart and say that you feel good about the actions you're taking because it's for the good of the organisation, it's for the good of the team as a whole, and it's for the good of your relationship with your boss, then I don't see anything wrong with that. And quite often I think it's sort of like, I suppose the counter to that is, if you really are in your heart of hearts doing it to get a promotion, if you're doing it just to look good and to hell with everybody else, then I think that's a different matter. And then I think it is sort of more sucking up. And I think if you are doing that, it probably will look bad to your colleagues, and maybe fair dues, and reasonably so, that they would think badly of you. And you may want to live with that, or you may not. But I would sort of say, if you can, come back to your sense of integrity and your sense of contribution to the team as a whole. And if that's right, then to hell with other people, if that's what they think. And you may need to counter some of the reactions that you get from them, but that's a different thing, because then you could be working in partnership with your boss to actually bring the whole team forward. And if you can, as a result of the actions that you're taking, start to be seen by your colleagues as helping them as well, maybe they don't like it to start off with, or maybe they're a bit jealous about it. But if you can almost like put your arms around them and bring them with you as part of the team, then I don't think anybody's going to think badly of you. I think if they can see you helping the overall team effort, making their life better in the process as well, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. But it does come back to, and David may well have a different perspective on this, because we quite often have varying styles here, but it would be interesting to hear this in a moment. But, it comes down to what you want to do for the best to move forward on your agenda, which may be building that stronger, constructive, almost peer feel relationship with the boss so you can get a good job done, or if you're just out there looking for promotion. And I think that's where it starts to become sort of negative, and you could rightly be criticised. But if you're doing it on behalf of the team to help a whole team effort, you'll get recognised for it by the powers that be if you make a few sort of diligent actions, which we can talk about on another occasion. But generally, I think if your heart's in the right place and your intent is for the good of the whole, then I don't think you should be worrying about that. But it might just be a statement of where you've come from, what sort of life you've been used to in a team dynamic, but not necessarily where you need to be going to. So it might be worth just sort of rethinking that one, but looking for that positive, okay, how can we all work better together? So that's my initial thoughts. David, what do you make of this?
Yeah, for me, it's about authenticity, I think. If you're genuine about the behaviour that you adopt with the boss, with your colleagues, with your stakeholders, then that will come through. As Colin was intimating, I think when it starts to become self-serving, and we're doing it for our own benefit, then it can be accused of sucking up. But there's nothing quite like a genuine, straightforward and honest relationship with your boss, but also with your colleagues. You just tell them how it is, but it's if it requires that level of cooperation and for you to pitch in and do some stuff, then yeah, just be straight about it. Be honest, straightforward, genuine, and authentic. I think works every time.
Yeah, and I think probably the time when it is most difficult is when one of your colleagues believes you are in a more favourable position with the boss and the line manager. And then it's more of a political rivalry. And it's not that actually they think you're sucking up. It's just that they think you're in a better position than they are in the boss's good books, which, that might need to be handled a little bit differently, because that's sort of coming back to, if you like, the political rivalry. But again, as I think David was saying quite eloquently, it's about, that authenticity and straight dealing in a smart way. I mean, you can't afford to be naive when there's somebody around there who's prepared to play it dirty. So get into the 21 dirty tricks at work and have a good look around there as well, if the person that is potentially accusing you of sort of sucking up to the boss is prepared to play it dirty. So don't be naive about it, but genuinely try to move for the good of the whole. Okay, I hope you found that useful. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch.